So what's great about this is that I had this beautiful old skillet, which was actually rusted on the back. And through Robin's great tutorial of how to actually properly season pans, you can see that I have this incredible, shiny, non-stick surface now,
beautiful,
which is fantastic. And I've got my other, my bigger pan, which is what we're going to use today, is heating on the stove right now. So we're making blackened fish tacos with cilantro lime cream sauce, making a couple of slight adjustments to Robin's recipe to make it more paleo for me. But we're going to have her recipe up on this post as soon as we finish. So walk me through the cilantro lime cream sauce, which goes on the top, right?
Yeah, so I just put some sour cream in a bowl and then add minced cilantro, lime juice, jalapeno pepper chopped up, and that's it. Just stir it up.
Okay, so we've got about two tablespoons of the cilantro, which is minced, and I've already diced up my jalapeno, and it's 2 tablespoons of the fresh lime juice. So I'm mixing that up now, and I'm using cashew sour cream instead of dairy sour cream because I have trouble with dairy. So this is a way to make this dairy-free. Obviously, if you're making fish tacos, you might be pescatarian, so you might not be doing dairy. So now we've got our cream sauce. So super easy. Look how fast that was. So next up, we're going to be doing our fish. So tell us about the spice blend, which I've got in this bowl here.
So the spice blend is it's sort of a twist on a classic Cajun blackening spice. I use paprika, brown sugar, dried oregano, garlic powder, and cumin. So the oregano, paprika, and cumin, and then there's also some cayenne in there. So that gives it a sort of Mexican flavor.
Yeah, so I'm just stirring this. So I had pre-mixed them, and of course all the amounts are going to be in the recipe that Robin's very kindly provided on her blog, which we will be sharing. So mix that all up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my oil in the pan over here so the oil can be heating. So you call for vegetable oil. Do you have a particular type of oil that you like to use?
Yeah, I usually use sunflower seed oil or safflower oil.
Okay.
But you can use any kind of vegetable oil, but just a neutral flavored oil with a high smoke point.
Great. So I am now coating my, so these are local grouper. We actually had grouper from a friend. So I thawed that overnight in the fridge. And then I just patted it dry. And I did actually slice them into smaller pieces just to make it a little easier for them to fit into my, my cabbage taco shells.
Yes, that's great.
So, and your recipe calls for tilapia, right?
Fish, that you like to do fish tacos with. I actually made this recently with some wild salmon.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. So
fantastic. All right, so we got our little fillets nicely coated. And we're going to go over to the stove now. Let me just wash my hands real quick, which I should have remembered that I was going to need a towel for this. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tilt my pan to get my oil nicely distributed. And the pan is definitely hot, so we're going to definitely hear some sizzle in just 1 second here. All right, so here we go.
I like that sound.
Yeah, the sound is so good, isn't it? And these should only cook because it's small. It's a hot pan, and they're relatively small pieces of fish, and they're kind of thin. About 2 or 3 minutes aside, wouldn't you say, Robin?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Okay.
And you'll see it'll sizzle and they'll sort of stick to the pan at first, but when they're ready to be turned over, they will magically release.
Excellent. And so talk us through the seasonings, how you season the pan, because this is something I had tried it. I actually didn't use a hot enough oven, and the other thing I didn't realize is that you might have to do it 2 or 3 times. This pan I actually had to do 5 times to get it to be nonstick.
Yeah.
But
I think that's one of the biggest myths about the modern cast iron pans. Most of them are now sold pre-seasoned, and people think that means you can just start using it right away. But you really do need to season it yourself at least 2 or 3 times, and as many as 5 to 6 times before it's really nonstick. But it's really simple. You want to make sure the pan is really clean and really dry, and then just coat it with a neutral flavored, high smoke point oil, anything like peanut oil, safflower oil, sunflower seed oil. I know a lot of people like to use flaxseed oil, and a lot of cast iron aficionados will swear by using lard, if you happen to have that around. And then you just put it in a hot oven and leave it for an hour or so. And then I usually just turn the oven off and let it sit until it cools off. And then if I'm planning to do it again, I just take it out and do another coat of oil. And when I put the oil in, it's just about maybe a tablespoon, and then I use a paper towel to spread it around. So you don't want it like flowing around. You want a very thin, even coating.
All right, I'm flipping our fillets here, and they have released perfectly. And Microwave Boy on the camera is going to come back over here in a second and show you how beautiful these look. They're basically almost cooked through now. So good morning, Microwave Boy. How are you today?
All right.
we had some technical challenges getting ready this morning, so we're happy that everything's working. But look at that. Look how gorgeous that is, and all that wonderful color. You can tell that the fish is starting to separate, which means that it's already almost cooked. So I'm going to take these off in about another 30 seconds, I think. I'll turn the heat off. Now, cast iron also holds all the heat very, very well. So you have to be aware as you're cooking with it, right, that if you get it up to temperature, it doesn't cool down as quickly as a regular pan. So you need to make sure you don't overcook your food because of that. How did you get interested in cast iron cooking? Is there, like, do you have a story about that, or?
You know, I've just been using a cast iron skillet forever, and like a lot of people, I went through a phase of using the non-stick skillets and found that, you know, they don't last very long. You have to be really careful with them, and then I started getting concerned about the toxic chemicals that could be leaching into my food or off-gassing into the air.
Right.
And so I went back to cast iron and realized if you take good care of your pans, they're just as non-stick as a non-stick pan, and the non-stick coating can last forever. You don't have to worry about using metal utensils or, you know, babying them. They just stay non-stick, and you're not going to get any chemicals in your food. So it's just such a great way to cook. And I love how the pans get so hot and distribute heat so well.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're really
you can see as I'm building this.
Like a nice crust.
As I'm building this taco, you can see it's just got an incredible, great sear on it, but the fish is still like really delicate. You can just tell from looking at the texture of it. Now I'm using Savoy cabbage leaves, which is making this kind of a paleo wrap, but of course your recipe calls for corn tortillas, which you would also probably grill on a cast iron surface.
I would.
Yeah, I've sliced up a little avocado, which, as you know, sometimes avocado is a little disappointing when you cut into it, so I had to kind of cut around the not very happy parts. I'm going to remove those. But
those cabbage leaves look beautiful.
Yeah, and what I love about Savoy cabbage, guys, if you're doing like a lettuce wrap, is that it's a lot sturdier than a lot of lettuces, so it'll hold up to something hot, but it also has a very light, crispy crunch, and it's also already kind of rounded. So, and then of course we've got, usually fish tacos have a little bit of shredded cabbage on them. I've still got some extra cilantro. I've got a little bit of lime here, but the main thing is I want to try is this cream sauce that we made earlier. So let's put that on there, and then I'm going to have to try to take a ladylike bite, which is always tricky on camera. Wow. That is really good.
It's tasty, right?
It's very tasty.
And
spicy.
That took, what, 10 minutes?
Not even, right. It's got a nice hit of spice. What's great about making your own spice blend is that if you don't like spicy food, you can omit the cayenne altogether and just have the other warm spices. If you like spicy, you can make it hotter.
That's like...
Wasim says it's very yummy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like somebody else wants to try it.
Yes, this is Daisy. So Daisy's always in the kitchen, and she magically shows up every time the food is ready. It's amazing how that works. So, so this again is Home Skillet. And Robin, what's your website where people can find you?
twolazygourmets.com.
Okay, so twolazygourmets.com, and we'll be posting Robin's recipe. Home Skillet is available at bookstores as well as Amazon.com. I highly recommend. There's so many great recipes in here. And even if you're not, it's not a gluten-free cookbook, it's not a vegetarian cookbook, but lots of fantastic cooking techniques and ideas. So even if you are on a special diet, like a lot of my readers are, you'll still find a lot that's great here. And if nothing else, you'll learn how to season your pans properly so you can use them for many, many years. Robin, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Check out Home Skillet on Amazon.com and twolazygourmets.com. And Robin, thanks so much for being with us. Also check out RecipeRenovator.com where you will find over 325 healthy recipes suitable for special diet needs. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day, Facebook.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye, Robin.
Bye-bye.